I-14.
New production. Let's go.
Yeah, I-14, we ride. Killing on the map, new life worldwide. Case, let's go. I'm I-14, yeah, the road stay live. Home of the killing, and Snoops where the real ones thrive. Crimson and the cream, yeah, we built on pride. If you see us step through, better know that vibe. I-14, yeah, the road stay live. Killing is Snoops, we don't just survive. We lead, we serve, we keep hope alive. From the soil of the city, watch greatness rise. I'm I-14, home of the killingness. It's not like you haven't seen this. We the meanest, giving you this word life. You need this, and we connected live from I-35. All over the city, not like we trying to hide. From 4th Street to Great Street and Rancid Drive. We vibe. From the heart of Texas, where the sun stay blazing. Killing, built tough, yeah, the grind stay crazy. Boots on the ground, but the vision stay navy.
And so those are the hosts, the guests, and do not represent the official view or of any of chapters. Although the hosts are members of the fraternity, this podcast is not official
New
publication.
production. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. How we doing today, fellas?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
All right. Welcome to Beyond the Letters, by the cleanest Newts, I-14 Newts, and the Columbus Alumni Chapter. This is a space where real conversation happen, brotherhood, leadership, pressure, purpose, healing, and growth. Because who we are goes far beyond the letters. Introducing the host today. Before we jump into today's topic, let me introduce the brothers who helped make this platform what it is. First up, we have the teacher, the motivator, the brother who always brings structure and clarity. We have Koach. Coaches know what mindset you're stepping into with today's episode.
Coach, you there? Yeah, I'm a little difficulties.
All right, and next, we have the realist, the raw voice, the one who says what everybody's thinking. We have Kountry. Kountry, go ahead and tell us what type of energy you're on today.
Gentlemen, I am doing great, man. I'm out here in the sunny Las Vegas, out here in the AKA land. They had taken over the city. It's good to be here amongst good company. And also shout out to the ladies, AKAs, as they celebrate their 72nd Boule, and also the Sigma Gamma Rose, which celebrate this. I'm not sure what Boule Day is, but they're out there in Tampa, Florida. So yo, I'm good, bro.
Okay, and of course, I'm your host, Big Country, holding down the facilitation, the accountability, and the heart of these conversations. Now today, we've got a special guest joining us. We have retired Army officer, silk state of mind, and proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Shawn Gilmore. Shawn, go ahead and tell the listeners who you are and what season of life you're navigating through right now.
Okay. Hey, thank you all for having me again. Shawn Gilmore, member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The views are my personal views only, and it's not for my fraternity. Retired Army officer, currently working as an operations manager at a manufacturing technology firm, and just bringing positivity. I'm in a good mindset. Got a lot going on in life, but just trying to stay positive and keep moving one foot at a time. So it's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank you all again for allowing me on your platform.
Absolutely. We
Good to
appreciate
have
you for
brother. Good
being
to have
on.
you.
So we're gonna go ahead and move it. We're gonna go ahead and move into the first segment, which is the brothers check-in. All right, y'all know how we start every episode with the brothers check-in. Shawn, I'm gonna come to you first. How are you really doing today?
How am I really doing today? I will say I'm blessed to be on top of ground. Blessed to be breathing. Um over the past 30 days and I had a couple of deaths in the family, but through all things, God just keep pushing me through, keep remaining positive. I got a strong rib that's always by my side all the time. So I just keep moving forward, man. So I can't complain. Like I said, I'm breathing above ground, but we do all have struggles as men, and I'm just tackling those struggles one day at a time. So yeah, that's how I really feel right now.
Okay, I like that. Coach, how you doing today, brother?
Coach, can you hear
Concrete,
us?
how you doing? What's been weighing on you and motivating you lately?
Man, I'm good. Uh, as we continue this podcast, we're gonna, focus on mental health. Like I said before in previous episode, that my father passed 2019 on July 10th. So, that's a everyday struggle with me. I actually celebrated, his legacy by going on a fishing trip with my fishing brothers, annual fishing trip called Nice Little Red Snapper. It's good to be, enjoy life. And like Shawn said, man, you can't sit there and just, be set into the motion of your negative emotional side. You got to be on the positive side as well. But, I'm good, brother. Good to be here with you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And me, like I said, I had to go see the last week, and I tell you, you go see the wizard, you uncover those things that you've ignored for many years, and sometimes it's tough. So it's been a little rough for me lately, but I can tell you that my son has allowed me to grow in a lot of ways that I didn't know I needed to grow. Just watching him go through his football tournaments. So in every low point that you have, you can turn around and find something positive to take out of it. So I just continue to enjoy the journey. I continue to write my articles, and I continue to look forward to having this conversation with you, brothers.
Okay.
Coach, you locked in? Are we gonna keep this thing rolling? So we're going to the main conversation, right? So the theme of this episode is life after the yard. So we're going to go ahead and start off with topic one, which is losing direction after graduation. Let's start with the real. Start with the look. A lot of brothers lose direction after graduation. Shawn, from your perspective, why do you think that happens?
The first what I've seen over the past 16 years and being in my organization, brothers are used to dealing with other brothers that are the same age range. They're fighting the same battles and they haven't matured yet. Um, what we fail to do is grasp these men, brothers, once they get on the other side and transition into manhood, and they don't know what they don't know. So if you're learning how to be a man from another 19, 20, 21-year old, you don't know what to do when you see someone my age and being in life experiences. So we need to grasp these brothers once they get out of college, once they get into the real world and open up. That's what the brotherhood is for, regardless of what D9 organization you're in. You have to grasp these brothers and pour into them. And that's what we're feeling at, I feel, as seasoned brothers in our organizations.
Okay, and I like how you highlighted we're all rooted in brotherhood, and no matter what the organization is, brotherhood is the bedrock. Which leads me to why do you think some folks feel lost once campus spotlight is gone?
I think uh, I look at college as like a relationship. People go into a relationship as well as college with a different set of mind. And once you've been into college for 4 years, you mature a little bit better and your mindset may change. It may be different from later on when you first came in. Same thing with marriage. You go in as a young man, and later on down the line, 4 years and invested into it, you become a man again, and your perspective changes. So I think that we have to be accustomed to our growth and accept that, and then understand that life is not going to be the same as we started out to be as a young pup in college. And we know our maturity level that college is more like a party place for undergrads, and they understand the business, and the same thing with in life itself. So I just saying that we just got to be able to accept our growth in life in different aspects.
Absolutely. I talk about my own experiences, and when I was in college, and I got kicked out of my first college, I went to the second college and ran out of money. And I look back on the things, and you think no one can tell you anything. You're a man, you don't have much to learn, but you really don't understand how much wisdom you don't have until you get to the position where we're at now. And you see how
Mhm.
much those kids in college don't really know. And then you realize that you didn't know much in college. Um, and I think that there's a correlation there when you talk about losing your direction after graduation. We're in a very small, controlled population where you gain notoriety and popularity. And then all of a sudden, the real world hits you. And, corporate doesn't necessarily care about that type of social status. So what do you do now? So I think those are very great points that highlight. Coach, you locked in over there yet? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in on Coach. So this will be an open question. Where do you see brothers getting stuck during their transition? And anybody can take that one.
Uh, I started off, but I think when it comes to college, it has to be a point in time where you have to realize that college is going to require a different version of yourself. So that it's not no longer just going to be going to class and having fun afterwards. It's going to be you focus on your career. That your degree program, you have to tie it into the workforce and make sure that this is what you really want to do. So you got to shift that mindset some point in college, and when you do, that's when you realize that hey, you go from that boy to a man in real life.
All right, Shawn, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I agree with what Watts is saying, but I also want to add on um, a big transition, and I'm gonna speak for black men, is they don't know how to be men. Um, I went through all college and I went through life. I didn't know what a man was. I knew I was a man, but I didn't know what really a man was until my late 20s, early 30s. So I think one of the biggest things is it starts off at the home growing up and being taught what a man is and what to expect. I think a lot of people just graduate college. A lot of men just graduate college. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna make a bunch of money, and I'll be able to take care of what I want. I can buy what I want. I can do what I want to do. But they don't even know what it means to be a man. And I think that's the hardest part in this transition that I've seen personally from brothers, men that I meet, that they don't even know what a man is. They just think having money, being able to come buy things is what makes them a man. And that's not what it is. So the transition starts at home, growing up. College is you transitioning, getting more knowledge. But then once again, I'm gonna go back to my first statement. We have to pour into these young men when they transition out of college, and we have to own that as older brothers, as older men. We have to own that.
Hey, bro, Sean, I got a question for you. So as far as the mentorship, when we go into a mentoring these young men, when does the mentor stop? The mentorship stop, or does it stop at all?
No, I could.
I think Miles got an echo.
Oh, so to answer your question, mentorship does not stop. They never stop. Right now, I got an older bro. I'm 43 years old. And I have a fraternity brother and a God brother that still mentors me now. Um, I've retired. I'm financially stable. I think I'm doing well in life, but I still need mentorship from my father, from my brother, from my mother. Like you still mentorship doesn't stop. Everyone needs mentorship. I still mentor my mother and my father when they have questions. So that never stops. I don't think mentorship never stops. You will never not need sound advice. So that's where I leave
Absolutely.
it at. You'll never need sound advice.
I totally agree. Go ahead, Country.
Absolutely. Just mentorship. If you look at it from your younger days to your older days, it should be like learning. Mentorship and coaching falls in the same. Always somebody else who knows more and has more wisdom than you had or you once had. So, there's nothing wrong with clinging on to them and allowing them to help you with your journey. I think that the problem that we see quite often is that a lot of people, they don't want to yield and say, okay, this person does know more than me, and let me yield to learn something from them. A lot of people are hard headed, and it's something about putting your hand up there on that stove where you have to be burned to learn a lesson for yourself before you learn that that's hot. I don't know what it is from a scientific perspective, but there's just something like that. You can tell somebody, don't go down that road; it's a bumpy road, and the fact that road might save them some time is enough for them to still try to go down that road, even though you've warned them that they may damage your vehicle. So, but I think that just as there are people who won't necessarily listen, there's enough people out there who will yield. And we just have to keep that constant pressure and continuous pressure to say, we have to have the stamina to continue to keep going. Don't worry about, you know, how many people we reach. We just have to keep going in the hopes is one will turn into two, two will turn into three, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Myles still not up over there.
Mm. Myles, can you hear
All
us?
right. So
No.
so we're gonna go ahead and transition to our second topic, right? So this is gonna be career struggles and reality check. And this one right here is, I think this is relatable in every career field out there. So let's talk careers. That first year after graduation, it hits hard for a lot of people. Shawn, what was that reality check like for you?
I was lost. I was lost. Um, I thought I knew what it was to be grown and take care of my own bills, and but I was lost. And to move forward 23 years later, I'm still lost. I'm just mature and lost. I'm still finding my way. I'm still figuring out things. But the biggest difference is I was young and didn't have the back end and the knowledge to deal with the lostness or the figuring out part of life. Now as a mature adult, I'm still lost. I'm still trying to find my way, but I have a I have a knowledge bag that I can pull from. I have a support system I can go to. I know what real brotherhood is and what it means and what sound advice looks like. So that's the biggest difference from being lost as a young man and being lost as a mature, seasoned man. You have built a kit bag, hopefully, that you can lean on someone, get advice from someone to move forward in a positive direction.
Absolutely. You broke that thing down extremely well. And what I would tell you is what you said resonates with me well because, you know, especially when you go through the military or any organization where work becomes your identity in every part of who you are, you lose sight of the things that truly matter. And if you don't have people who come before you to warn you of those signs and say, like, hey, these are the things that you need to be worried about. This is what may be the end result if you continue down this path. You go towards a path of destruction where ultimately you end up losing yourself. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of humility for you to realize you've become something that you didn't want to be. And then you have to fight and claw your way to getting back to who you believe and who you know you are. But what you don't get a vote on is what was the cost of that? What were the relationships that you messed up? Who were the family members that you did wrong, and so on and so forth. So that's why it's so important that when you are going through doing those type of things, as us, like you said earlier, we have to find those young men and say, hey, this is the road you're heading down. This is the end of the road, because we didn't get that. We didn't get that insight. But now that we've gone through that road, some of us, were able to recover. Some of us weren't. But now I can teach somebody what I went through, and because I have that wisdom. What you got, Concrete?
You guys hit it on the head, man. Basically, I mean, I agree with everything you said. As far as for me, I didn't take the traditional path. I went to college right after high school, but I found out real quick that college wasn't for me, or I wasn't ready for college. Either way it go, I wasn't prepared to, make the grades. So I left college and joined the military, and my career kind of like paying out for me. I mean, I went back to school after I joined the military and got my degree, but at the end of the day, I figured things out as I went. And back to the first subject we had, we didn't have that mentorship from brothers that could give me keep me on the narrow, like straight path. I didn't have the mentorship from my father because he wasn't college educated. He went to high school, got his diploma, went right into the workforce. So having somebody that's has a background in education, it was hard to find, especially in my neighborhood. I mean, I'm from 229. I ain't from Albany, but I'm from Tifton, so this is bigger. I mean, Tifton's a small town, but yeah, I didn't have the mentorship back then to guide me in the right
I
direction
had to
from
I had to
positive male role
represent
model.
229.
Yeah, 229.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, well stated. Well stated. Myles, you on here yet? But he's still working.
Hold on. I ain't gonna mute him. Myles, say something.
Okay, he's still working over there. And then you want to know something, and this is just popped in my head. Yo, yeah, we got you. We got you there. Yes, sir. Hey, that haircut looking fresh, my boy.
Hey, cut your you got echo in yours,
You can hear me?
Myles.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, he.
What about now?
Yep, we got you. You locked in.
Okay.
All right. So one of the craziest things.
It's just delayed.
Yeah. One of the make your screen smaller. That'll help. Don't make it so big. Make it smaller. So one of the things for me, especially when it came to the military, I'm like you. I hated school. School was never my thing. I was never good at it. But I'll tell you that my career made me good in school. So when I made the comparison, that what was the difference between conducting research in a regulation to find the answer versus conducting research in school to write a paper? There was no difference. If most leaders would say, go find the answer. Well, when you find the answer, you got to get in the regulation and you got to figure out what chapter it is. You got to do your research. So there was no difference in everything that I had to do in my everyday job. And when I just sat back and thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I'm basically doing what I have to do in college anyway for my job. I can do the same thing that I have to do to take care of my soldiers. I can apply that to school for a bigger purpose and be successful. And that was kind of something where it was just like, and, back then school wasn't being pushed like that. It was just like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Drive on. But so Kountry, what are some honest takes on some of the connection things? Like in when you talk about the reality check and things like that,
I
what are
think that
those connections?
one of the big issues, especially with us when we trying to separate life after college or life after the yard, is that going into college, we don't necessarily our expectation doesn't match up with reality. We go to college to have an easy path to get this diploma, but when we get this degree, what is it useful for? What can we use it for, as far as our job, career wise? And I mean, you have your counselors in school try to get you on the right degree plan so you can graduate, but this is the diploma that you can be able to use in the workforce. Or are you going to go back to school and get more certification afterwards? So I think that, to be honest, we as men lack real, honest mentorship across the board. Yeah, we have our little mentorship program in different organizations, but outside of that, we only mentor 50, 60 kids at a time, and the population is way bigger than that. So my question to the group is, what can we do as men, not as an organization, as men, to better prepare our kids for the future and for higher education?
We'll start this off with Shawn.
What can we do as men to prepare our kids for a better education? Why? So I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna tell you what my father taught me, and I noticed it worked. It works out for me as I've got older. We just got to be honest and more transparent with what our young men. We need to get away from you can't cry, suck it up, you can't get help. I deal with PTSD and mental health issues. If you would have asked me 20 years ago, would I be going to see a wizard? Would I be going to see a wizard? I'd be like, nah, that's crazy. Because how I was growing up is that men, we carry the load of the family. We're the protectors. We don't get hurt. We fight to the end. But guess what? You get bruised and battered during those fights. So what do? We don't get taught what is our outlet. So I would like to teach my kids, my nephews, the younger men today is be open and honest. Teach them avenues of approach when things go wrong. They don't have to carry all of the burden. It's a lot that goes on in this world that gets thrown on the backs of black men, and even older black men and mature black men to this day. They don't. Some people don't have outlets, or they so conditioned to they're the man. They don't want to seek help. We got to start seeking help, and we got to start being honest with our young men as they grow up. Because if you're conditioned to not to be a man and be that hoorah person for 20 and 25 years, that's a hard cycle to break. Um, that's a hard cycle to break, and that's a lot of burden to unpack once you try to get some help. And you can't be good to your family, your wife, your kids as a broken man. And I yield my time.
Okay.
Man, well stated. And I would like to add to that. That just, kind of a recap of the first two episodes we had. We talked about breaking that stigma, breaking that cycle of you're tough, or like Willie Casey was saying, how get up, don't cry on the field. That is something in our culture. And the only way to change it, like Concrete always talks about, it starts with us. And when you look at it, it's even as simple as You know, my own experience is I didn't know what postpartum was. I had never heard of it. So if we're already in a community where we don't talk about mental health or things like that, and then, there's this thing in the air called postpartum. I'm a man. I don't know anything about postpartum. So how can I be the man to support my wife when they're having a child? And after that, if I know nothing about this thing and I've never heard anything about it, because we've always been told that we don't have mental problems, we don't have these things. But when you look scientifically, it's a real thing. It's just something that we were never taught we knew anything about. So as a man, you're processing this thing, as if, is this real? I've never even heard of this. The whole time, you don't realize this has been around for years. It's just something that was not talked about in your community. And because it's
Yeah, I think
something that
also
wasn't talked about.
we don't necessarily address when you're talking about like your postpartum depression, after childbirth, whatever. Do we even address the fact that how the man has to transition as a different role model, as a
Correct.
protector and a provider? Like that's a big shift in
Correct.
the man's responsibility life for him. So if we don't talk about that, like who we get advice from, saying, "Hey, I'm about to be a father, or the baby's here. What do I need to prepare for? Like life insurance, emotional support.
Correct.
My significant other." That's a big change that we don't have people to lean on and get that advice from.
Oh yeah. And that's what I mean by that. Just everything you just stated, because if we had more people to say like, hey, these are the things that you need to be prepared for. When the chill of the night, you got a responsibility too. You got to get your butt up and you got to go check on your child as well. It's not just a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't understand
Right.
that over time, resentment is going to build up. And
Right.
then
And
when you
also
talk
to tie
about,
that into the topic, how we talking about today about life beyond the yard, I would say how they tie into me is that when I was in high school, I had teachers that knew my family, my cousin, my aunts, my mom, because they taught them beforehand, and they would push me for assignment. Hey, your assignment is due this week. Make sure you turn the assignment in. And you coaches like, hey, you ain't gonna play and you ain't gonna start if you fail in this class. So once you leave high school and go to college, that's gone. Everything's on you now. Because at the
yep,
end of the day, they still gonna get paid if you turn that
yep.
assignment in or not. So that mentorship, that extra boosting, pushing you beyond just doing the normal thing, that doesn't exist in college. That's that shift. You gotta be able to transition from from high school to college.
Oh, absolutely. And I think like even when you look at, the program that we do with Capital League, um, you find out so much in that program. Just working with those young men, uh, so frequently, you learn about their life. You learn about, you find out who their teachers are.
Hmm.
That they did something in school, and they have no clue that you even know that you even know that happened. So, but imagine if we had more men that were invested in the school system in the same manner. If that was, across the thing, like I said, like I think I said last, it would be like, herd thinking when you talk about men mentoring young men. Is Myles still down over there?
Yeah, he has a huge echo.
Uh, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and move into topic 3: maintaining brotherhood after college. Another big challenge is maintaining brotherhood after the yard. Uh, so Shawn, what do you think some brothers fall off after graduation?
The mentorship from undergraduate. That's the biggest thing I see. I'm gonna just be transparent. The accountability and everything falls on us once they get to us in the graduate lane, the grown man lane. But that's why we have graduate advisors. These graduate advisors need to let these undergraduate men know once you graduate college, you are now a graduate. It is still okay to stroll. It's still okay to hop. Um, we are not teaching these undergraduate men coming into life on what it means to be a graduate brother. Also, I looked at the chat earlier, and one of your brothers said continuous relationships of development and mentorship. Um, we don't do that either, and that's accountable for us as seasoned members of our organizations in life. That we need to start, like I say, it all goes back pouring in into these young men once they get, because what they fail to realize is that once you become a grown man, you never know what Watts did. You don't know what Big Country did. You don't know what Coach did. You don't know what Shawn did. What I may have done may help you succeed in life, and you won't know because you don't know how to develop bonds and friendships to keep the brotherhood going. But what you do know how to do is party. An undergrad, you know how to make different juices, you know how to pick people up, and you know how to dress nice and do all this. But then after that, you feel like you can't do it anymore as a graduate member. Yes, you can. We can still do that, but it's a different way we express ourselves as graduate members, and that's what we have to teach them once they get to that level.
Okay.
Oh man,
Can I get some of
you.
this country? Can I get
Oh,
some
of
of that?
course. You know, I was coming to you next. You know,
All right.
go ahead and get
Hey,
you some of that.
so Shawn, so I can't speak for all organizations, but I know that the transition from undergrad to alumni is starting to trickle down. Like the numbers starting to dwindle away a little bit. Uh, like you said, we don't have that positive relationship with the undergrad as the advisors. Well, do you think that if we had the advisor closer to the undergrad age, would that assist? Also, with that being the case, is there a risk factor for advisors close to their age or, going excessive with the pledging process?
Let me, yeah, I want to answer that. Let's go. Let's get it. This is what I was
Let's
waiting
get
on.
it.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
get
all
it. Let me
right.
this is what I'm waiting on Watts. Great point, and this is my personal opinion. This is
Personal
my
opinion. That's all
personal
I'm asking.
opinion. Yeah, this is my personal opinion. When you're 25 and 26, there's rarities. Those are rarities that you can find some mature 25 and 26 year olds that just graduated to be graduate advisors. They do getting their masters or getting their doctorate, and they're advising the undergrad. But I want you to keep in mind, Watts, that just 2 months ago, they were the undergraduate, they were the DP of the lines, they were
Hmm.
at the parties with these same individuals. I do agree that if they were closer in age, it would be uh it would be more some more brotherhood. But what type of brotherhood is what I need to know. Are they gonna still keep up the undergrad traditions? And that's where you're gonna have the risk factor of things that have went on in organizations over this past year. I'm not gonna speak on them. If you know, you know, but those are the things we need to know. But also, I want to say before I yield my time, Watts, when you have older brothers that would not let that undergrad go, you're still gonna have the same problem. So
Okay.
we as organizations need to know, and the leaders in the organizations need to be aware, and this goes for any organization. Know who you're putting in the position, because these are somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, somebody's son. We need to know who again these putting these positions. Stop voting for your homeboy or your tight man, or somebody that you went to high school with to get in these positions. Because guess what? A true brother will let you know when you're wrong or right, and still be
Right.
brothers and pop a bill with you. And I yield my time to y'all, but I was waiting on that one, Watts. I knew
Oh
that
yeah,
was
we
coming.
cooking. We cooking now.
Ooh, that was a good one. That was a good one right there. That was a good one. So I'll jump on that one. So I 100% agree with you, Shawn, on that one. And I know me, Shawn, we've had this discussion before too. Um, I believe that I agree with everything I said. I think that what people have to understand with that transition from undergrad to the alumni is that the business side of things, and there's decorum in the way that we do things. And what I mean by that, just like how Shawn just said, you know, yes, you can stroll, yes, you can walk, but there's a way that you do. We're on the business side of things. We're a social organization. However, there's things that they do on undergrad, but now as an adult in the profession, in the business side of things with decorum, we have to do them in a different manner. You know what I mean? Like, just when you look at the way things are and how we project ourselves as professional men, you can't project yourself in that same manner as the undergrad people. That's just not going to be acceptable. And I think that when you look, we've had tons of events where we've had a lot of fun, but we were respectful, we had decorum, and we still represented our organizations with the utmost respect. And I believe that a lot of people just can't let that go. You know, they peaked at life. You know, that was the highlight of their life when they crossed, and that is the high that they're running off of. And they just don't know how to grow, or they don't want to accept the challenge to grow, that there's a life that has to go on after that period. It is a period of time. It is a subsection in your book, but there's plenty of other chapters in your book and in your story. And people just have to learn how to let that go. Because if you come to the alumni side, there's plenty of work that can be done. You can still have a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
You can still enjoy the brotherhood, but that's a choice that a person has to make. Now, am I loud over there?
He just took a break. I think he's checking comments. And you can check those comments on TikTok. Okay. We can ask them over here. They got questions.
Let me see. If we got any. All right, so we'll go to we got an emotional angle for the final topic. It's the heart of the episode. What happens when the excitement fades? What did anybody discover about yourself once the noise stopped? What did the silence reveal about yourself?
You want anybody to attack that question?
Anybody. We're gonna keep this thing open, and I'm gonna go over to TikTok and see if we got any comments.
All right, I'll start off. I think that once the noise stops, I think that it's a moment that you got to reflect in that you pretty much by yourself. Like, once you finish school and you get that diploma in your hand, you did your little last hop or your last stroll, you have to realize, hey, my life in college is over with. What's next? It's time to get in this career field. So your mind needs to shift from being a student into being a man, a productive man in society. And I think that's something big for any man to have to deal with. What's that? A comment? What we got? Okay, yeah. For any man, I think that's a big shift, man, in life. I think that mentally we need to prepare ourselves for that.
Yeah.
And that's James. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as I got for that, you just got to mentally prepare yourself that, hey,
All
life
right,
is about to change. It's not what you used to know.
All right, so we're gonna hit the comment. First one, we got him. He said, "Rest in heaven's pops." We got Willie Casey Jr. He says, "So find ways to connect with the young folks transitioning after college." I agree with that. We got Koach. So Koach is coming through from it. He said, "What does success mean to you now compared to how you viewed it during your college years?" Okay. What else we got? Keon says, "So would you say that there is a continuous relationship of developing and mentorship that is pure?" I wouldn't say it's pure. I mean, I think that it's just going to require work. It's going to start with the end of each one of us. Continue that legacy. All right, I got a real 48. They get lost once that degree is conferred, and they have no plan for self outside of their career. Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I statement I made earlier. Especially when you go to school and you just get a degree in political science and you don't have no plan to use it. Like, what's next? Or you get a bachelor degree in general studies. Like, what are you gonna work? How are you gonna get a job with that? There's no mentorship in degree planning.
Yep. So we got let's see, question country. With everything said, first you cope with finding your path and staying grounded. I actually agree with that. So that came from Koach. So basically what he's saying is that first thing you do is you have to find your path before you can be grounded. And I think that a lot of athletes kind of deal with that. Which is probably why it's more relatable when it comes to this, especially when you throw NIL into it and things like that. And then you throw a fraternity or organization into it. It's just magnified. All right. Let's see. We got another one, a real 40. Okay, so this is going back into the advisors. Give them a graduate fellowship that makes them assistant to the advisor. I like that idea.
I like that idea as well.
Yeah,
I like that idea. The real 48. I want to take that back. I'm gonna take that back to my organizations. We have things set in place, but something like that is awesome. We have something like that set in place, but what they're saying is something that's something. What I say, SOP. We need to get something that's a standard across all college campuses. So I like that idea. That's a great idea.
yeah. I think we all can use that.
Yeah, that was
Yep,
good.
yep.
100%. Hey, shout out to Real 48. All right, we got old Steven Robinson here. Alumni involvement outside of just the advisor is key. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that one a lot. I think just more unity when it comes to that. Not just parties or things like that, but I know tailgating, something simple as just a tailgate. I think could be a small step in the right direction, in showing it. And, I'm looking forward to the Fountain City Classic Tailgate. Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna pull up.
Are your perspectives from undergrad? All right, we're gonna skip that. All right. I saw the real work of Kappa that needed to be done. Okay, that came from Willie. All right, here we go. Once the Neo phase is over, being seen in all the functions ain't work. Agreed. How has experiencing failure or setback shaped your understanding of who you are? Ooh. Wait,
hey, Coach, I want to answer that. Coach, I'm gonna answer that one. Coach, how has my experiences of failure and setback shaped my understanding of who you are? Coach, before I accepted those failures and setback, I wouldn't get help, Coach. As I've seen so many setbacks and failures in my career, in my life, I had to bow down and basically force myself and accept the fact that I need help. I'm not weak for saying that. I don't know how many people on here. I don't care who's on here. I have to seek help. That was the biggest thing that my experiences of failures and setbacks helped me realize is that I'm bruised and battered, and not just physically, mentally. And I'm glad that I had those setbacks and failures because I would be living the rest of my life dealing with things and not getting help or not seeking out guidance from people if I stayed in that young mindset. So yeah, that hit the home right there because like I said, 20 years ago, if you told me if I would needed a psychiatrist, I'll look at you crazy like, or I need a therapist. Like, nah, that's not even that ain't even what we do in a southern household. You go to church. That's
Yeah.
all you gonna do is go to church and pray on it. But
Hey, you
there's
gonna
other
be you gonna
avenues.
be under that. You gonna be under that tent under revival.
I'm telling you, yeah, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Hey, the caveat on that, Shawn, like us as black men, we go to doctors for everything else for the right thing. We go there for our eyesight. We go there when our teeth hurts. We even go to Turkey get a hair transplant. But when it comes down
Mm-hmm.
to our mental health, oh, that's I can't go do that. We shy away from
Mm-mm.
that. So we gotta make the norm the norm. I see the country
Yeah.
over there laughing, but it's true though. Hey, they go to Turkey that get that piece put in, but we won't go get our
Hey,
mental health
I
checked
I
out.
will never
And just like
forget
a
that trip
car.
to Dallas.
Yeah, just like a your car. Y'all get a tune up. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep putting gas in,
You
things gonna
get
run forever. Y'all get the oil
yeah.
change, get them tires flipped, rotated. So we gotta get that mental maintenance done too.
Yep.
Man, listen, y'all have all and like how Shawn said, it took me to hit rock bottom, and it was actually my buddy who was retiring who actually put it in my head, and he was like, "Hey, man, we really need to go get help because, man, all this time, all these years, we haven't been all right. Like after the deployment, we really weren't okay." And when I tell you,
Right.
it took a lot of courage for me to get out of my own self because I was like, "There's no way I got a problem. I've always been, you know, no one ever has problems in our community." And when I tell you, when I walked in there, it was a relief that I had never felt before because it was overwhelming because of how much stuff you find out is actually so it's just like, man, you went all these years not realizing that, man, you had all these things going on, but you had that pride. I'm a man. I can't be to even take that step forward to go ask for help. And like I said, you just all the damage and destruction you caused along the way, not realizing you were the problem the whole time.
Hmm.
All right, let's see. Let's see. You're allowed. Okay, this is from Koach again. You're allowed. You're allowed to become a different version of yourself at 5 years ago. You're allowed to outgrow old habits, old friendships, and old identities. I agree with that.
Right. I agree.
All right. So that's our section in the comments. All right. So we're going to move into our segment, which is the Diamond Gem segment. And Diamond Gems give people that concrete truth. What's the raw message brothers need to hear about life after the yard?
The concrete truth is be prepared to understand that your perception of what life is may change throughout your course in school as you become a man. So don't think that your ideal, your plan A, always going to be your plan A. Be prepared to have a plan B, and also accept it for what it is. It's not a exception of defeat or something that you failed at. It's a exception of growth and maturity. So just like I said, your friend that you was best friends with, that you was online with, may not be the friend that you be with later on down in life. You might mature faster than he does, and you are past that. You might want to settle down with a family and kids. He's still in the streets and in the clubs. So be prepared to just accept change is what it is.
I like that. I like that. All right. So we're gonna move into Silk state of mind. So, Shawn, what's one truth, one lesson, one piece of wisdom that every man needs to hear as he transitions into life after the yard? Give us something that can be applied today.
I'm gonna just give it to you straight from the good book, man. As a child, I did childish things, as a man, I put those childish things away. Um, we need to grow. Um, as men, you gonna go through some struggles. You're gonna go through some shortfalls and challenges, but you got to fight your way up. All the burden that you carry is not yours alone, and seek help if you need it. Reach out to that good brother, reach out to that pastor, reach out to that mother, that sister, that aunt, that uncle. Um, I just say that for your mental health. But when you become a man, you put those childish things away and become a better version of yourself. And that's still state of mind.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So, you know, that coach is always coming with the quotes, but due to technical difficulties, he has sent me his quote because we couldn't have an episode without having some of coach. So, life after college isn't just about finding a job; it's about discovering who you really are. The transition can feel overwhelming, but remember, identity isn't tied to a degree. The letters you wear are the title you have. It's about the values you hold, the relationships you build, and the impact you have. Embrace the uncertainty, lean into your passion, and let your journey unfold. Quote for today, Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us, what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. You have the power to redefine success on your own terms. Let me say that again. Y'all know I had to say that part because he's not here. The quote for today is Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. You have the power to redefine success on your own terms. And I'm going to go ahead and close it out with Big Country's perspective. Here's my perspective. Life after the yard isn't the end. It's actually the beginning. The transition is not your enemy. Avoiding the transition is. With that being said, we're going to transition to the community spotlight. Now, we are following on TikTok Live, so if you do have something that you would like shouted out, just let us know and we'll make sure that we get it going out. But we're going to start off with Shawn Gilmore. What you got for community spotlight?
Hey, community spotlight. Currently in Killeen, Texas. I am a member of Omicron Pi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. This Saturday, July 25th, we have our annual all-white party, 8 p.m. to midnight. Killeen Civic Center. Come out, enjoy yourself. We have comedians, live band, and food. So please come out and support the Brothers of Omega. You're sure to have a good time.
All right. It's always a good time up there. Always a good time. I had a good time. Hey, is the one with the no shoes, the one who had no shoes on, they gonna be here this time?
They gonna be here this time.
Okay. That's how you know it's a good time. And shout out to is it Singleton or Singletary?
Singleton. Kenneth Singleton.
Singleton. Shout out to Singleton. I always look for Singleton. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
We're gonna move on to Concrete. What you got for community spotlight?
Man, like I said in the beginning of the show, I'm out here in Las Vegas with the beautiful ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. They have taken over the city, and it is pink and green all over. Trust me, they having a good time. I've been to a couple events, and it's been nice, man. But back to what Shawn said about that the Q party, all white party. Listen, I've been there the last 3 years in a row. They don't miss. Them boys know how to get down. So you ain't got your ticket. Hey, if you ain't can't get, you need to get your ticket. Don't be outside and can't get in. Cause we're gonna be in there having a good time. Also, Sigma Gamma Rose, they're having their boule as well this week. Shout out to them down in Tampa, Florida. And before we end this segment, I gotta put Shawn in the hot seat since he's from 229. So come back to me before we can get off the air.
Oh, you know I got you. Hey, Shawn, when is some good news for the Killeen High School? I think I heard some real good.
Yeah.
Don't they got like a new athletic?
Yeah, the Killeen High School. has a new head athletic trainer coming out of Killeen, alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, my rib, my backbone. Coach Sierra Smith has taken him of the athletic program over there at Killeen High School. She's the new head athletic trainer. So shout out to her. And I wish her well, love her to death. So I know she's gonna do a great job. So good stuff.
Let's go
Absolutely.
Rules.
We couldn't let the segment go by without recognizing her. You know, we got to make sure we do a good job of recognizing the folks like us that are doing great things in the community. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. So before we close, I like to shine a light on some incredible people and programs making an impact in our community. So first, I would like to shout out to legendary Pat Pearson for all the youth sports photos. Follow him at Instagram at Legendary Lens. If you got kids in sports who want to capture those moments, make sure you contact him. Next, shout out to Patrice Azalea. She is a master storyteller, creative copywriter, and she creates unforgettable content. Check out her website at patriceazalea.com to get her books and tap into her work. I would also like to make a big shout out to Carrollton High School football, home of the Trojans, on winning the Under Armour Next 7-on-7 championship. They are currently ranked number 8 nationally. And listen, my nephew Zach Watts is an intricate part of that program. I'm very proud of him. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for him. Shout out to the Twin City Outlaw 9U football program. My son plays for that team. They got some dogs on there. They got a lot of hard work, discipline, and they're hungry. And finally, shout out to the Columbus Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. They had the privilege of serving lunch to the students in the Tears Inc. summer program. TEARS stands for Teens Empowerment Awareness with Resolutions. Their mission is to treat, inform, empower, and encourage you to make sound decisions, health decisions, so their path leads them to a successful future. Beautiful work being done in that space. Now back to concrete.
Yes, sir.
What you got on 229?
I'm about to give I'm gonna give bro this truth serum down here in this truth corner with a concrete truth. So a quick question for you, all right? I've got a minute to do this. What's the best high school in Albany?
The best high school in Albany, Georgia, Doherty County. The Good Life City is what we call it. It's going to be Doherty Comprehensive High School, 1800 Pierce Avenue, home of the Doherty County High School Trojans. That is the best high school. You get the best education, best people, and most successful people to come out of that high school is Doherty Comprehensive High School. Thank you, Truth.
Okay.
Hey,
Pick one. Pick one. Undergrad or alumni? Pick one.
Alumni is where the business is happening. Alumni is where the business is happening.
Probate or community service?
Community service all day.
Step show or leadership conference?
Leadership conference.
Mentor or to be mentored?
I want to be a mentor. Mentor.
Okay. One word to define brotherhood.
Friendship.
All right. One lesson every Greek should learn before graduating.
What is life going to be like after undergrad?
All right. Finish this last sentence.
K-roll.
Life after the yard taught me what?
Life after the yard taught me that life after the yard ain't what it like is on the yard.
All right, that is the end of my segment, Concrete's Corner, Concrete's Truth.
All right.
Back to you.
So, brothers, thank you for joining us for episode 3, Life After the Yard. Identity doesn't end with graduation. It evolves. Shawn, thank you for blessing us today. Coach, Concrete, y'all are always solid brothers to work with. And to our listeners, stay real, stay grounded, stay growing, because who you are goes far beyond the letters. And we have a last thing. Shawn will be with us for episode 4. So stay tuned for that. We will have him on again. And always, yo, to the good brothers.
yourself responding to the statement you made. And now you got me wondering, standing in this bathroom with your reflection in the mirror. The thoughts of me needing you is getting much clearer. I'm standing by your side so you won't feel alone, because silence gets dangerous when pain feels like home. You are not wrong for fighting